its constitution, manifesto, and code of conduct. I commit myself to the ideals of the PDP. I shall serve the people of Ogun State and Nigeria with integrity, humility, and dedication, prioritizing their welfare above personal and sectional interests, she declared. The former commissioner reiterated that she left the ruling party because of disrespect, betrayal, and unfair treatment by the APC leadership. Opposition lawmakers berate Tinubu over worsening insecurity and hardship. The minority caucus of the House of Representatives on Wednesday delivered a scathing assessment of the state of the nation, accusing the administration of President Bola Tinubu of failing to address worsening insecurity, deepening economic hardship, and growing threats to democratic institutions. The caucus lamented that while these challenges persist, the government has remained focused on political calculations ahead of the 2027 general elections. Addressing journalists at the National Assembly Complex in Abuja, the minority leader, Mr. Fred Agbedi, said the country was facing one of its most difficult periods since the return to democratic rule in 1999, citing persistent insecurity, rising poverty, and growing public frustrations. Nigeria is bleeding, Nigeria is confused, and Nigeria is being deliberately pushed to the brink by a government that has elevated 2027 electioneering above the lives and welfare of citizens, Agbedi declared. Senators, reps, to decide retaliation against South Africa. Likely retaliatory measures to be taken by Nigeria against South Africa over anti-migrant actions fall within the remit of the National Assembly, the federal government said last night. Minister of Foreign Affairs Ambassador Bianca Odumegu Ojukwu said so far. The executive arm is actively engaging South Africa authorities through diplomatic channels and broader actions. According to her, the Senate and House of Representatives have a constitutional role to play in determining Nigeria's response should the diplomatic engagement fail to halt the attacks on Nigerians and their businesses. The lawmakers have a role to play in this, she said. In an interview on TVC, Ambassador Odumegu Ojukwu also spoke on the move to bring back 98 Nigerians in Ethiopian prisons to complete their jail terms at home. UK jury clears Diezani of corruption charges. Former Minister of Petroleum Resources Diezani Alison Madueke has been acquitted of all bribery charges brought against her in the United Kingdom. A jury at Southwark Crown Court in London yesterday returned not guilty verdicts on 6 counts, including 5 charges of accepting bribes and 1 count of conspiracy to commit bribery. The verdict followed more than 46 hours of jury deliberations after a trial that began in January. The judgment marks a significant victory for the former oil minister, who has consistently maintained her innocence throughout the proceedings. Alison Madueke, 65, served as Nigeria's Minister of Petroleum Resources from 2010 to 2015 under former President Goodluck Jonathan. No new taxes for fuel, telecom, says FG. The federal government on Wednesday dismissed reports suggesting it had adopted or was considering the introduction of new taxes on telecommunication services and petroleum products, following recommendations contained in the latest IMF Article 4 consultation report on Nigeria. The government said the report represented the content of the IMF report and did not reflect its policy direction, insisting that no new taxes were being planned for either the telecoms or petroleum sectors. In a statement signed by the head of Information and Public Relations Unit of the Federal Ministry of Finance, Ifako, the government stressed that recommendations contained in the IMF report were not binding on Nigeria and should not be interpreted as official government policy. The government had dismissed reports suggesting that it had adopted or is considering new taxes on telecommunication services and petroleum products, following the publication of the International Monetary Fund Article 4 consultation report on Nigeria, the statement said. Nav killed my husband, abandoned me with 3 children, widow. Grace Joseph, the widow of the commercial bus driver Joseph Okpe, was allegedly beaten to death by the Nigerian Air Force officials along the Oshodi-Apapa Expressway in Lagos. Has accused the military of abandoning her family, saying she has not heard from its representative since they paid a confidence visit and promised support. So it was reported that the driver died a few hours after he was allegedly assaulted by a group of officers following a minor traffic incident involving their vehicle. In a statement issued on Tuesday, the spokesperson for the Nigerian Air Force, Air Commodore Amen Ejodame, confirmed that all officers involved have been detained and that the family have been invested. The Nigerian Air Force is aware of the report incident and is deeply saddened by the loss of life, Ejodame said. Upon receiving information on the matter, the personnel suspected to be involved were immediately taken into custody, and the case is currently under investigation by the appropriate civil and military authorities. The NAF has also extended its condolences to the family of the deceased and visited them to express sympathy and support during this difficult time, the statement added. However, in a telephone interview on Wednesday, the grieving mother of three said the